There could be some trouble brewing within the Conservative Party. Brad Trost's leadership campaign says the party has slapped it with a $50,000 fine for allegedly leaking a membership list to a gun lobby group. Trost isn't getting involved, but his campaign manager says it's a baseless frame job, that the Conservative Party is like Communist China. He says if the party doesn't give back the so-called compliance deposit, he'll take action. That could include appealing to the thousands of members who helped vault Trost to a strong fourth-place finish. In either case, it's more fodder for the Sunday Scrum. Susan Riley, John Ibbotson, Katie O'Malley joining me this morning in Ottawa. Okay, Susan, how seriously do you take Trost campaign manager Joseph Ben-Ami's threat to take action?
I don't take it seriously at all, but what was a footnote to the race is now becoming a thorn in their side. I mean, Andrew Scheer, the guy who eventually won the race, cannot be happy with this. It doesn't look good on the Conservatives. They've made quite a good showing of unity so far. And Maxime Bernier seems to be on side now, or at least quiet. This will not be welcomed at all. And I do think it represents a very extreme and minority view within the party.
Okay, why do you say that?
Why do I say that?
Yeah, that it represents a minority view.
Well, because these people, Joseph Ben-Ami and some of the other people around the Trost campaign, you know, lean very far to the right. You'd call them alt-right, I suppose. You could call them that. And that's not really where John would know better than I, but that's not really where the Conservative Party of Andrew Scheer wants to go, and it's not where it is.
Okay, here's what Ben-Ami said. So far, we haven't reached out to party members, but he is pointing out the campaign could encourage the thousands who supported Trost to call the party and complain about the way the campaign is treated. John, what if he takes it in that direction? And could this be a first test of how much power the social conservatives actually would have in influencing the party?
Yeah, and I don't think so. I think that, again, there are people who probably do not wish the Conservative Party well, who would like to see it divided, split, in thrall to a Trump-esque populist right-wing social conservative insurgency. Susan mentioned the fact that Mr. Bernier 2 weeks ago was going to lead a rebellion against Andrew Scheer. Of course, that rebellion lasted for about 24 hours, and Mr. Bernier is totally on side. Mr. Trost wants nothing to do with this. Apparently, he is not lending his voice to it. This is just one of his advisors. I don't think that this SOCON wing of the party is very powerful or very important. You talked about, Carol, a strong fourth-place finish. I would suggest to you that that's a contradiction in terms. A fourth-place finish is a fourth-place finish. He didn't even make it to the top three.
I should have said surprising.
This is a tempest that will go away, I suspect, relatively quickly. I think the more important thing for if you're looking at the Conservative Party impartially, is that Andrew Scheer is performing well. He's caused Justin Trudeau some grief in the House of Commons. Now he has to go out and spend the summer on the rubber chicken circuit and make sure that when he announces his shadow cabinet, that he has all the different wings of the party properly represented. That'll be the real test of his abilities as a leader.
Katie, do you agree?
I actually think that what this would show, I suspect that you know, wiser, cooler heads are going to prevail, and Mr. Ben-Ami is not going to carry through his threat of having, you know, the party members, I guess, like barrage headquarters, because I think what it would actually reveal is that a lot of the people who did buy memberships and vote for Brad Trost, and in some cases Pierre Lemieux, the two pro-life candidates in the last race, are not in fact conservative that you can count on beyond a leadership race. I don't think that they will be as invested in the party simply because they wanted to send a message, which was they wanted to do something very specific, elect a pro-life leader. That didn't happen, and I think it would really demonstrate how little persistent influence and involvement they're going to have in the Conservative Party now that it hasn't turned out exactly how they would have hoped.
So what's Ben-Ami's plan here? What's he up to?
I really don't honestly know, because the other thing is the cardinal rule that everyone involved in any political party knows is you never air these sorts of disagreements in public unless you're ready to not just burn the bridges, but like blow up the moats too, because you are, if there's any way to get yourself completely ousted and sort of turned into a pariah within a political movement, it's making the party look bad in public. And that's what they're doing right now, which is just like, that is like rule one, the thing you don't do.
All right.
And he's been around a long time. I think he first surfaced publicly during Stockwell Day's brief troubled period as leader of the Reform Party, and is connected with Charles McVitie, a well-known anti-gay, anti-abortion activist. I think they're a troublesome kind of rump, but I agree with the other two. I don't think they're hugely influential.
It reminds me a bit of when Stephen Harper became leader of the Canadian Alliance, and Ezra Levant was not happy with any of this and caused all sorts of trouble and ruckus and commotion for about 24 hours. And then the party said, Ezra, go away. And Ezra went away and never caused the Conservative Party a moment's bother from that day to this, although he's causing
well, I don't know.
He's causing bother in all sorts of in other ways.
I thought you were being sarcastic there for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, next week is going to be our last Sunday Scrum for the summer, unless something big happens, and then we'll call you back.
Let's hope it doesn't.
But I'm looking forward to it. It's been a great season, so we're not going to pull out the tissues yet. We'll save that for next week. But I want to thank you for a great panel this week. Freelance columnist Susan Riley, John Ibbotson of the Globe and Mail, and Katie O'Malley from iPolitics. Have a great week, everyone. See you next weekend.
Thanks,
Bye, Carol.
Thanks, Carol.